New batteries? Oh, because you're not up.
Turned all the way down. That would be a good reason. Okay, we'll start that. Start that over. Sorry about that.
I taped mine on my money yesterday, and I found that my sound was better with just one mic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, try that again. Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase, Parham and Neal McCready, Clark Ford studio this morning. We'll talk to Gabe DeArmond here coming up in a little bit. Ole Miss faces Missouri in the last home game of the season for Ole Miss men's basketball. Talk to Gabe about probably some other stuff too. I don't know. We'll see where it goes with him here in the second segment of the show today. A segment that is brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Daiquiris, lunch specials, great gas prices get even better with the Speed Pass Plus out, the mobile rewards program, and more. When you head on in, you can you get the ribs wet or dry. You can call ahead; they'll be wrapped up, ready to go for you there with the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's that simple. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy. He'll prove that to you when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Gabe DeArmond and other guests join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters right there on the square in Oxford. Be a great place to go pregame tonight, this weekend. If you're in town for baseball, be a good place to go watch Ole Miss at Mississippi State Saturday at 5:30. And then, of course, Sunday brunch begins at 10:45. Bluegrass brunch featuring homemade biscuits, chicken and waffles, of course, bluegrass music, mimosas, Bloody Marys, and more there at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford.
Ole Miss baseball ran their winning streak to 11 games last night, beating Memphis 8-1 in Oxford. Pretty sloppily played game from both sides, for being honest. Ole Miss committed a couple errors, had 7 hits on the day, used a bunch of different pitchers who did reasonably well, most of them. Memphis walked 11 and threw 5 wild pitches last night.
Oh.
That typically will get you beat.
4-hour game.
It went okay considering. It moved around okay considering all the issues that everybody had. Memphis lost 2 out of 3 to Xavier a few weeks ago, and I thought, okay, that's probably not good. Well, I saw why last night.
Yeah.
They lost 2 out of 3 to Xavier. They did have that kid that had a hell of a week, though. The National Player of the Week from Memphis. Last week, in 1 week, 24 RBIs.
Oh.
Hit grand slams in 3 consecutive days.
Wow.
Locked in.
Good for him.
Locked in.
He'll remember that week for a long time.
Yeah, he came up in a couple big spots last night. He struck out once and then hit a ground ball into a double play later in the game. But anyway, Ole Miss 8-1. They play Princeton this weekend. A Princeton team I don't think really even played many games. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and preview Princeton all morning, but
thank you.
Reese Davis's kid plays for Princeton.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. That's the one thing I do have for you. If you're
How about
curious.
that?
Just little nugget there.
Is he coming to town this weekend?
I can't answer that.
Reese lives in. Does he live in Birmingham or Atlanta?
I thought he lived in Bristol still.
Oh,
I thought he lived up there.
For some reason, I thought he was living.
I mean, he's from like Huntsville, Florence area.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought he was living in Birmingham.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
I mean, maybe he is.
I might have dreamt that.
I thought he was living up there, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't have any answers for you. That's all I got. Yeah, Chris Christie's kid used to play for them, and now Reese Davis's kid does play for them.
How about that?
Hey, that's what it is. Yeah, Princeton's only played 4 games. My recommendation to Ole Miss is win because your RPI is going to get hit either way here. They played a 4-game series at Penn State to open the year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry. Penn State was the home team. They played the games in Cary, North Carolina.
Okay.
At the Team USA training complex.
Sure.
They lost 18-1, 4-3, 13-1, 4-3 to Penn State.
Okay.
Beat them. Move on with your day. Frankly, you shouldn't be scheduling them, but whatever. You got to play somebody. So
got a chance to be 16-1, I guess, when LSU comes to town.
When LSU rolls in. LSU trying to find itself a little bit last night. So
aren't we all?
Yeah, getting asked in the live chat about Mike getting on Peyton Chotney last night. He was late to the second base bag on a throwdown. The ball was over the bag, and Peyton was not at the bag, and the throw went into center field. And you're going to get yelled at anyway, but then when a former catcher is your coach, you're definitely going to get yelled at, and that's what happened. It was like a 7 on a Mike Bianco yell at you meter. It was not a 10. I've seen worse, but it was for a midweek game they're winning. It was a little extreme in the middle of the field. The camera operator did Mike no favors because he kind of zoomed in on it and made sure everybody got to see the tongue lashing as it was going on. But yeah, be all right. Shot Nace led off for the first time last night. Got on base 4 times, hit a double, walked 3 times. Servideo got on base 4 times from the 3-hole, moved him back. He should be hitting leadoff for second, but nonetheless, we're not going to play the analytics game today. Let's see what else from baseball. Jackson Kimbrell, starter last night, freshman left-hander. I was a little surprised when I saw that was the guy, but I knew they were going to go by committee to some extent. We've only seen him to this point twice prior to last night, and it was both in situational lefty-on-lefty matchup stuff. And I'll tell you, I think as this thing moves on, he's got a really good profile to be a starter. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and predict weekend starter eventually, but starter's his profile because that changeup last night, really good. I mean, potentially a plus pitch that he already is flashing. And because of that, if you match him up left on left, he can't throw the changeup. You don't throw changeups to left-handers if you're a left-handed pitcher. So he got to face some right-handers last night. You're going to have more right-handers in the lineup typically anyway. That changeup will play. I thought Kimbrell looked really good in short work last night through 3 innings. They got Wes Burton some work out of the pen. I think that's because that's how they're going to use Wes Burton for a little while, so you wanted to bring him out of the pen and put him in that situation from a get-ready standpoint. Austin Miller was really good last night, was needed in still a close game at that time. Mike did, however, say that he had some more side discomfort, so sit him down, get him healthy, quit. He now has 17 strikeouts on the year in like 11 innings. He's been very good in high leverage.
Really no reason for him to pitch against Princeton, I'm guessing.
Well, if you can't beat Princeton anyway, then you just lose a game. That's it. Austin Miller's health is even more important than losing a game to Princeton. So, yes. That is
you
true.
tell the message board that when it happens.
You think cutting a finger off is more important than losing a game to Princeton, is that what you're saying?
Don't think it would go well.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Max Chofie, really the story of the night last night. I'm probably going to write about him a little bit later in the week. He's now had 7 innings, 6.2 innings, 5 appearances, has not allowed an earned run. The velocity's up from last year. The slider's much better from last year. He hasn't walked a batter. I think he struck out like 10 or something. He's been really dominant so far, and maybe that's the piece that kind of figures out this bullpen a little bit. Mike's still trying to figure out, but yeah, Chofie may be the early season star from a bullpen standpoint, given on what they need. They need a guy to step up. He might be that guy. So all the way around, Ole Miss did not play well, but they won 8-1. If you win a game 8-1 where you don't play well, it's probably pretty good. So 11-1 on the season. Winners 11 straight. They play Princeton Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It'll be a party. You and Jay were talking on G-Pits about how a lot of teams could at least get upsets in this SEC tournament. Tennessee comes back, beats Kentucky last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you not see that?
No.
Yeah. Tennessee beat Kentucky last night. Kentucky has this thing where they get out way ahead every single game and then blow it and let teams back into it. I asked you this question yesterday.
Was that at Rupp last night?
It was at Thompson Bowling, I thought.
Okay. Did Vanderbilt win last night, by the way?
They did, yes.
Son of a...
Vanderbilt won. So Vanderbilt is going to go 2-16 with wins over LSU and at Alabama.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bizarre world.
Man, if you're Alabama.
Come on. Lost the home game to Vandy last night.
You want free money? Here's free money for you.
Actually, I was wrong. It was in Rupp last night. I apologize.
Here's free money. Mizzou minus whatever on Saturday against Alabama at home.
Oh, you think so?
Alabama's done. It's over now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Missouri senior night and all that stuff.
Yeah, Tennessee down 11 at the half at Rupp, won 81-73. Outscored Kentucky 50-31 in the second half last night.
Tennessee's not crappy, man.
Well, but my point I'm getting to is Kentucky's not a Final Four team right now. They have too many lapses.
No.
This is not the group of young kids that kind of figure it out late in the year.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
No,
We've seen that from Kentucky. This does not feel like that team.
No. They should have lost to Ole Miss. Could have easily lost to Auburn at home. Just lost to Tennessee. No. Listen, this deal in Nashville next week, it's a collection of mediocrity.
That's a good point. Nobody looks like a Final Four team, so they technically could still win the stupid thing.
Yeah, but someone's got to win the tournament in Nashville the way the rules are. Someone has to win it. It could literally be any number of 7 teams.
Yeah, inside the SEC last night, your 3 games. Vanderbilt 87, Alabama 79 in Tuscaloosa.
Wow.
Alabama now 8-9 in the SEC, 16-14 overall. Vanderbilt 10-22 and 15. Tennessee 81, Kentucky 73. Tennessee now 17-13, 9-8. Kentucky 24-6, 14-3. They have clinched the SEC, or at least a share. And then Mississippi State goes on the road, loses last night in Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina 83-71 over the Bulldogs. State now 10-7 in the SEC, 19-11 overall, and that was a critical loss right there for State.
Let me tell you, Saturday night in Starkville is that. Try not to be overly graphic here. Puckered. Tight.
Yeah, you dropped that one, and it's all she wrote. Peace.
Tight.
Frankly, last night was critical, though. That might have been enough of a blow right there to put them in bad shape, if you want to know the truth.
What State's net is now? You don't have to look it up. I'll look it up in a minute.
You just curious?
I'm a little curious what it did.
Well, what's the net got to be? What's the bubble net spot?
No one really knows. It's year 2 of it. I think you want that first number to be a 4.
52 as of this morning.
So it was 50. They dropped 2 spots.
And they're playing a home game against Ole Miss, so it's not going up.
What Tennessee do? Theirs probably got a nice little bounce.
They're at 69.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah. That's done. They're over.
Tennessee's a scary team next week. South Carolina's a scary team next week. Teams that could absolutely just tank next week because of the way the season ended. Alabama, Arkansas, State, if they were to lose to Ole Miss. I actually put teams like the Ole Miss Georgia winner, if it ends up being, is a potentially dangerous team in an SEC tournament. Not to win it. But to spoil somebody's Thursday or Friday. Especially if one of those teams could get to a place where they played not to give a damn, which I'm almost kind of hoping to see from Ole Miss tonight. It's not a lot to play for. Just go play. And then I think they ought to go to State and just balls to the wall. Let it go and see what happens.
Oh, ought to be loose as hell.
You're loose and they're not.
Get up, make them think about it, and see what happens. Yeah.
Oh, just play crazy. You lose, you lose. What difference does it make?
Yeah. What you think about those hats yesterday?
All right, no. We're gonna do something here.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on, because I'm on to your game after 10 years.
If you would like to run the ship every day, go ahead. Run the ship. You pick all the topics, and you can ask me whatever you'd like to run.
I'm going to give an opinion.
Okay.
But I'm going to give it after you give yours.
Oh, okay. All
yours will not impact mine, I promise. But I want you to go on the record with your thoughts on the new hat.
I would have voted, if I was voting in my own poll, it's fine. I don't like the multicolored panel.
Okay.
I like the script M. I'm actually a proponent of the script M. We've talked about this. I think it's the irony. It's more Ole Miss than the block M. It's taking literally a piece of the Ole Miss script and putting it on the cap. Now, It does kind of look like the Marucci logo, which is a little bit of a baseball problem. But it's good.
Somewhat unavoidable, but yeah.
But it really does. It's really close.
It looks just like it.
Yeah,
sure.
It's very close to the Marucci logo. I did laugh at all the people saying, hey, this is a step toward taking away Ole Miss. And it's like, well, hold on. They're taking away a block M, not Ole Miss. And then Cassie Head, Steven's sister, she puts up a shirt where this logo was on a shirt in 2004. She has an Ole Miss baseball shirt with this logo on it.
So it's a 16-year plan.
Yeah. I wish it was on a navy hat with a red bill, or an all-white hat with a navy bill.
Okay.
Not the double paneled. I wish it was one color or the other. It does look a little bit like the Old School Expos hat, as Georgia Rebel says in the stream.
Which is one of my favorite hats ever.
The hat looks better just as a hat to me than it does on a uniform. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I I don't mind the hat, but on the uniform, I wish it was either all white or all blue in a panel. That is my opinion.
My 2 favorite baseball hats ever
Okay.
are the Montreal Expos hats.
Like that one.
Love it.
Okay.
And the one that I think the Orioles still wear today with the cartoon bird
Yeah.
on the
It's a great hat.
It's multi-paneled.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I love the hat. If I were an Ole Miss fan who went to Ole Miss games and that hat was available, I would buy it.
You love it. You're all in.
I give it a 10
Do
on a
you
scale
really?
of 1 to 10. Now, I'm not a traditionalist with most anything unless you have a true tradition, which is limited, frankly, to the Yankees.
The Brewers hat is my favorite Major League Baseball hat.
It is a great hat, but
That
for,
is my favorite hat.
for reasons I can't give it that title. It is an excellent hat. Unless, I mean, when I think about tradition, I don't know that there's a college baseball program in America that I could say they have, quote, tradition to the point that the uniform is not touchable.
LSU can't get rid of their gold tigers across the front, the jerseys.
Okay.
Can't move them.
But they do wear other uniforms.
Oh, well, yeah. They only wear them like on Sunday or whatever.
It's kind of my point.
Yeah.
If LSU came
Because
out,
every college baseball team that's any good has 1,000 uniforms.
right. Ole Miss is good. So
More of the question is, what college baseball hats or uniforms would you actually recognize without the name on them? That's the better question for the average person.
Let me think.
Sure.
I'd recognize the Texas hat, I think.
You would, sure.
I'd recognize LSU.
Yeah.
I'd recognize Auburn with the AU.
Okay.
I'd recognize the Florida hat.
Okay. The average person nationally will get Alabama and Arkansas mixed up.
I was just thinking, it's funny how you said that. It was going through my mind. Would I recognize Arkansas or would I think it was Alabama? They're confusing to a casual fan.
Alabama has a mullet, but most people don't know that. It has the little hook off of it.
And Arkansas is more of the Detroit Tiger style.
Straight,
yeah.
You would recognize Arizona State's hat, I think.
I would recognize theirs.
UCLA.
Yeah, I think I would recognize UCLA.
But now,
just the colors.
It's a B on it now. It's a blue hat with a B
with the
now.
B, and so I don't know that I would.
Yeah. A&M.
Yeah.
SEC schools aren't fair. I was thinking more nationally, but yeah. My point is a small list after that.
Yeah. And I don't know that Ole Miss, the Block M, is this recognizable thing. Not saying it's not. I like it fine. I like the Block M hat for what it's worth. I just think once you start going down the path of, hey, let's have some different uniforms, then go for it. Have some different uniforms.
Here's the thing, though, and Dylan pointed out yesterday, and I think I agree with him. I like as I see them now in some mocks and on the red hat, I like the interlocking UM better than the script M.
Sure.
I'm cool with whatever, but I like the interlocking UM better.
Add it to the collection. You know where I come from on
whatever.
this.
Have as many as you want.
Have as many as you want. But here's the deal. Sell them.
Yeah. I think they are selling this hat.
Sell it. If I were an Ole Miss fan, that would be the hat I'd buy. Now, matching it to a uniform, and I know people don't like uniform talk, one of the reasons the Expos uniform worked so well, the hat, is because it was a perfect complement to that uniform.
That's my point.
With the 2-stripe on the leg. The Expos had it right, man.
He looked fine. Servideo had the mock-up with him wearing it on a blue jersey, and it was fine. That's probably the best fit for it. You can't wear it on the pins.
No.
You obviously can't wear it on the powder or the gray.
No, I wouldn't think. You could wear it with a
red or
red
the
top
blue.
or a blue top
That's it.
and white pants.
Yeah.
Or gray pants.
So my assumption is they will wear it on Friday night against Princeton. Or unless they're leaving it. They might be saving it for LSU with league play. I don't know. I have no idea when they're wearing the stupid thing. But yeah, get some hats. Be Oregon. Whatever.
Be Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's got 17 uniforms.
They do. They do.
So why not? I mean, Ole Miss they're going to break out the camouflage hat at some point.
They wear a St. Patrick's Day hat. They wear a green cap.
Good.
They sell them.
Of course.
Yeah. It's funny how they pull this off with the baseball program, but no mascots and stuff have a hard time. Like, you know what I mean? It's a little strange.
But the people that freak out about the script M, I don't get that. It's literally coming off. I mean, if they went with the O instead of the M, well, maybe, but what's up? But it's the M from the Ole Miss script. It's right there. It's just cut out and put.
It's your logo. It is your.
It's your logo. I mean, 100%. Bizarre.
It was funny. I had to kind of play with it a little bit yesterday, see what social media was saying. I will say, let's see what the poll results were. I've got them up. This is a win for Ole Miss. On the poll yesterday, looks great, 43.2%.
Okay.
Look, it's fine, 39.8, and it looks terrible, only 17.
Oh wow,
that's a win.
Yeah, oh, sure.
That's a win.
You take those analytics all day.
Well, because people aren't used to it. Everybody hated the powder when it came out, and I will say this: with college baseball people, Ole Miss's powder is one of the top 5 most recognizable uniforms in the country.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody loves it, recognizes it, sees it, goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's done that in 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. I don't know.
In a short period of time.
Yeah.
Well, that's with the interlocking UM hat, right?
It's with the red interlocking UM hat, red shoes, powder suits.
Yeah.
So my point being, it'll go from 80 to 90% by the time they actually see it a couple times. And in a year, we won't be discussing it. It'll just be one of the hats they wear.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
With most things.
And the people who are going to completely lose their minds over it are still going to go to the games.
You don't think anybody's going to boycott over the hat?
I mean, I don't think.
Okay. Podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Citto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis, so getting local underwriting understands your market, a leader in condo financing, the float-down option, and with rates right now as good as basically they've ever been. Give Jason a call. Even if you bought or refinanced within the last year, good time to call again. Just see what he can do for you. 662-234-2704 or JLOWE@communitymtg.com.
Rebel fans, renew your football season tickets by March 31st to secure your seats in the vault this season. Tickets start at just $199, can be purchased by visiting fb.olemistix.com. Fresh off a tournament win, the Ole Miss baseball team is back at Swayze this weekend as they host Princeton. General admission tickets are available by visiting olemistix.com. The men's basketball team, a senior night tonight as the Rebels take on Missouri at 8 p.m. The first 1,000 fans will receive a commemorative Breein Tyree poster. Tickets remain and can be purchased by visiting olemistix.com. The Ole Miss softball team kicks off a full week of games at the softball complex. They played yesterday. They'll play again today at 6, and then this weekend they host Central Florida for a weekend series beginning on Friday. Admissions free. And for more information, you can visit OleMissSports.com. And the Ole Miss women's tennis team back at home this weekend. They host Georgia at 3 p.m. on Friday and again on Sunday as they host Tennessee at 1. Admission is free. For more information, you can visit OleMissSports.com. Our friends at Blue Delta Jeans are excited to announce that beginning this month, they're taking orders for the return of Duck Canvas. Longtime Blue Delta Jeans clients will remember this durable, long-lasting fabric. It's back in stock by popular demand in canyon brown, green, gray, and navy. At 10.5 ounces, this Georgia milled fabric will provide you with the ultimate American-made pant that is nearly unbreakable. For more information or to place your order today, go to BlueDeltaJeans.com or reach out to Blue Delta Jeans on social media at Blue Delta Jeans. And we're brought to you by the Iron Horse Grill. It specializes in on-site large event catering for up to 250 people. And off-site full catering services, especially beverage catering. So if you're planning a birthday party, a graduation celebration, a rehearsal dinner, or a wedding reception, you want to be able to enjoy the moment, and the Iron Horse Grill is your answer. It's a one-stop shop for beverage services for a 250 to 500-person wedding or even a 3,500-person gala. Iron Horse Grill is one of the largest beverage caterers in Mississippi, and it can service the entire state. So call Sarah Black at 601-398-0151 for your catering needs and knock that off your worry list. Let the Iron Horse Grill make your event one that is memorable forever. The Iron Horse Grill is located at 320 East Pearl Street in Jackson.
Injured but not sure where to go? No matter where you are, Specialty Orthopedic Group has you covered with 3 convenient locations in Tupelo, Oxford, and New Albany. No referral is needed. To schedule an appointment with one of SOG's fellowship-trained subspecialized surgeons at any of their 3 locations. With 24-hour scheduling, SOG makes it easy to accommodate you. Just call 767-4200 or request an appointment on their website at www.sogms.com. Special Orthopedic Group. Choose a specialist. Choose SOG. We'll be right back on the live stream with Gabe DeArmond in a second. Otherwise, just hold tight. Be right back.
Gabe DeArmond joins us here on the podcast. Gabe, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
We're good. Just breaking down Super Tuesday, state by state, delegate by delegate. That's what we do here.
Tennessee and Kentucky, is that what you mean by Super Tuesday?
How about that, huh?
Yeah. I actually quit paying attention and then woke up in the middle of the night and watched the last few minutes on replay.
So we won't spend a lot of time on it because, frankly, I don't really know. Missouri plays at Ole Miss tonight. It's at 8 p.m., which should be illegal, but it's at 8 p.m. And senior night for Bree and Tyree. These two teams played each other not so long ago up there in Columbia. Mizzou won by 3, if I recall correctly. What do you remember? I know you were at that game. What do you remember about that game? What do you sort of expect tonight?
I remember nothing. I knew Missouri won. I couldn't remember the score until you just mentioned it. They're 2 pretty mediocre, evenly matched teams. It's interesting that this is senior night for Bree and Tyree. Is this like his 5th senior night? Because he's one of those dudes that's been in school since I was, like maybe 15 years ago, it seems like.
He's the rarity, in today's college basketball because he's been an impact player for basically 3.5 years, and usually those guys don't stay 4 years. And so, yeah, you're right. He's had a hell of a career at Ole Miss. I mean, I wrote about it yesterday. It's up on the site. It's at rebelgrove.com. It's part of the Rivals Network where prices never go up. And replacing Bree and Tyree is going to be an issue for Ole Miss. I mean,
I'm sure he does this to a lot of teams, and I know he has a lot of company in doing it to Missouri, but he always seems to light up Missouri. He's always played really well against them.
He's played really well against just about everybody. The only team that kind of has his number a little bit is Alabama. They throw a bunch of like athletes at him, and
they don't seem to have anybody else's number right now. Yeah. He's not Vandy.
I told Chase a little while ago. When I heard that score, I did not realize that Alabama had lost to Vanderbilt. That does it for them. They're toast.
Yeah. They're done. I actually did a whole bunch of like seeding scenarios for Missouri in the SEC tournament yesterday because look, it doesn't matter really, but they're trying to avoid Wednesday night. And I said at the beginning, like, all this kind of goes out the window if Andy beats Alabama, but that seems pretty unlikely. So we're just going to assume that won't happen. And then, of course, it happened. So I wasted 20 minutes of my day yesterday.
My point was, I love Missouri minus whatever on Saturday against Alabama. If you're Alabama, it's just like, to hell with it.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama's playing for nothing at this point. I think both them and Arkansas, I mean, 3 weeks ago were teams that everybody said, hey, that's either a tournament team or they definitely got a shot. And I don't think either one of them has a shot now. I mean,
no.
They're both in position to maybe finish 11th in the SEC. I don't care what else happens. You finish 11th in this league, you are not allowed in the NCAA tournament.
I don't think the league's getting but 4, maybe 5 bids. Mississippi State lost last night. Ole Miss gets a crack at them on Saturday. Ole Miss blew them out in Oxford, and I know that won't be the same thing in Starkville, but you know, if Ole Miss goes in there with it and plays basketball, they could beat them, and State's going to be tight as a drum. I don't like tight teams from a betting standpoint late in the year. They're just they get bogged down.
I think 4 might be right. Mississippi State is close. I think if they win one of their last 2 and win one in Nashville, they'll get in. And then, you know, South Carolina and Tennessee could both play themselves in, I think. Now, they got to do a little bit, but college basketball isn't very good. I mean, there's going to be some 18 and 14 teams from major conferences in there.
Tennessee's problem, as we looked it up a minute ago, even after that win last night, their net's 69.
Which is nice.
Yeah. They don't look like an NCAA tournament team to me, but again, college basketball is so bad, guys. Like, I don't.
The tournament could actually be. The league's nowhere near as good as we all thought it would be or expected it to be. But
he goes in thinking, I don't know, we might be able to get this done. This is probably it.
I was telling Chase the Georgia. If they played today, Georgia and Ole Miss would play each other on the first game on Wednesday, and whoever won that game would have a little momentum. Going into the Thursday game against somebody, and whoever you're playing, whether it's Tennessee or Carolina or State or whatever, I mean, those are beatable teams.
They're not that good.
Yeah, I mean, you could shoot well one afternoon and win, and then suddenly you're hot and you're playing on Friday against Auburn or LSU or somebody, and I mean, crazier things. It doesn't, it's
the problem with that tournament, though, too, is you run it, especially if you play on Wednesday, you have almost no chance. But even the lower-seeded teams on Thursday, you get to Saturday, and all of a sudden you're playing the third time in 3 games. That starts to take a toll on you.
Oh, sure. There's no doubt that your legs get shot. I think some of it is just becomes mentality. I remember that Georgia team, the year of the tornado, that Georgia team just got hot for one weekend and won the tournament. I was covering Auburn years ago when Arkansas just got red hot and won the tournament. They won 4 games in 4 nights and won the tournament. You never know, but realistically, none of this matters. So let's get to this.
Right.
'Cause this is what's more interesting to me is your friend Elia Drinkwitz, who I know that you have become very close with over the last
We
month.
hang out a lot.
He forget the shot that he took at Ole Miss for a minute. We can get to that in a second, but he talked about doing it the right way, and we don't have to do all of those things. He does know what league he's in now, right? I know he did the Sun Belt thing for a little while. He's been at Missouri long enough to know that he's in the Southeastern Conference. I mean, he's aware of how this thing works, right?
Yeah, there are 2 ways to take that. The first way is the way most people will take it, which is we're not going to cheat while most of the SEC cheats. And look, we all know whether nobody will say it out loud, but obviously a lot of teams in the SEC cheat. We've talked about that a lot. The other way to take it, and the way he would explain that he meant it, and you can buy this or not, is when you're at Missouri, you have to know how you can recruit, which is not going down to Georgia and Tennessee and Mississippi and Florida and trying to get kids that a lot of other SEC schools want. I don't know which one he meant, something coaches don't say. Although, you know what? Also, with all the stuff that's been going on with college basketball and everything lately, like, I get real tired of hearing coaches pretend this stuff doesn't happen, too. So even if he meant the first way, it doesn't bother me. I get why it would bother other people, especially schools he was talking about.
So why do you pick on Ole Miss? I mean, Ole Miss went 4-8 last season. Ole Miss hadn't done anything to Missouri.
Yeah. I mean, if he meant the cheating stuff, I guess, I don't know, because they did have the NCAA thing. I don't know. If he meant the other thing, I think he was probably picking out kind of a program that's similar and saying, hey, Ole Miss, geographically, they're in a place where they can go, and they are going to try to go up against these other SEC schools, and we can't do it that way. I don't know. Go pick on just go pick on other people that are bigger than you. Like, don't pick on somebody your own size, because the Missouris and the Ole Misses and the Arkansas should kind of maybe more try to unite against the teams that they can never out-recruit in this league.
Yeah, they're kind of all in this together a little bit. And I mean, he's going after.
Not now.
No, yeah, not now. I mean, it's mortal enemies now. Well, when you go to dinner with Drinkwitz tonight, you need to talk to him.
6 years they play will be better now.
I mean, look, Enos Rakestraw just really liked Shakespeare's, Gabe. That was it. He loved Shakespeare's. He thought, you know what? That's the deal.
And you know what? It is funny because a bunch of us that cover Missouri just kind of privately talked about that after signing day when they got Rakestraw. I'm like, look, that's a big deal for Missouri to get a kid who legitimately had Texas and Alabama offers. That doesn't happen. But we all said, if he had signed with legitimately any other school like Missouri, all these fans that are talking about what a great recruiter Drinkwitz is now would 100% just be posting dollar signs all over my message board. I mean, it's just, and even the comments in the Assad article, obviously my message board is full of people going, wow, that's our coach, loving saying it, way to call out the cheaters, and the other side is going, geez, what an amateur, he doesn't belong in this league. It's just all the lens you view it through.
I'm guessing when he made those comments, he did not believe they were going to be public knowledge, right?
If I had to guess, that would be my guess, because I mean, I don't even think those were the most kind of uncoach-like comments in the article. I mean, he was talking about Brian Harsin and talking about how some days you didn't want to show up to work because he was an MFer. And I just can't see a coach, even a coach who hasn't been at this level before, I just don't think he says that stuff if he really knows it's going to be written. And I don't know. I haven't talked to him. He hasn't told me anything about it. But when you read those comments, you go, I wonder if he realized this was a conversation that was going to be publicized.
I got to guess no. I've got to guess that he thought this was a get-to-know-you background sort of a deal.
It's also, though, like, and I hate that we all do this, but we all do it. We just piss and moan all the time that nobody says anything. And then as soon as somebody says anything interesting, we destroy them for saying it. It's like, no, let's have these guys say fun things. Like, I hope Lane Kiffin's asked about this and fires back and insults Missouri. Like, that's fun. That's good for us. It's good for fans. It's good for the sport. Let's do that instead of this boring, I really respect this team. They're well coached. They're big. They're fast. They're physical. They're multiple on offense and multiple on defense, and they just put you in bad position. Nah, come on, fire the coach. Do that.
Yeah, no, I'm all for the trash talk portion of it. The part that got me was literally, I would, if I were a Power Mizzou subscriber and poster on your board, number one, I would be thrilled that prices had not gone up in 20 years. Number two, I would be thinking, well, no, wait a minute. Is this guy out of his league? That would be my bigger concern than him taking a side at Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. My much bigger worry would be, surely he doesn't mean that.
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to be interesting covering him because, like, just in the few times I've talked to him, I mean, you guys know how these colleges work. I mean, you can just call the head coach up anytime you want.
Right, yeah. Oh, of course.
That's how it works most places. But in the few times that I've talked to him, like, he's going to say something. I've been doing this for 17 years, and all I've ever covered are robots. I mean, Gary Finkel was a great coach. He was boring as sin in interviews. Like, I could write his press conferences before they happened. And then Barry Odom came along, and frankly, off the record, Barry was pretty decent. But on the record, Barry made Gary Finkel look, like Lane Kiffin. He was incredibly boring. Drinkwitz is going to say something. And I think there's going to be a few of these moments where it's like, you got more than just the Boone, North Carolina newspaper covering you now. These things are going to make national headlines when you say them.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
I'm all for it.
Absolutely, you need to be. Frankly, if you're at a program like Missouri, which isn't really in the national spotlight, when Missouri goes to SEC Media Days, no one's going, I tell you what, man, I can't wait to hear from the Missouri coach. I mean, it's like that usually with Ole Miss or State or whatever. I mean, this will be one of the first times at spring meetings and then at SEC Media Days that like schools like Ole Miss and Mississippi State are headliners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That's good for these schools. I mean, like you said, nobody, especially the last few years, like Missouri football just is there. Like nobody talks about them outside the state of Missouri. Hey, if this gets people talking about you, cool. Now, at some point, you're going to have to go back it up on the field, but hey, all you can do in the offseason is get publicity.
He's not going to keep wearing that letter jacket, is he?
I don't know. There was a former All-American tight end that played here that tweeted out a picture of him and Drinkwitz. Drinkwitz had stopped by his office, and he just like my first impression every time I see him is just, if you had 100 guesses what this guy does for a living, I don't think you'd ever guess major Division I college football coach, right?
No, you'd guess accountant,
yes,
tax advisor, IRS agent.
I may have even texted you the pictures before, but he is Dean Pritchard from old school. Like, that's who he reminds me of. That's who he looks like. It doesn't mean he can't be a good coach. It's funny.
Just because I'm sick and I'm weird, I'm just kind of curious. Did you even get one message board thread about Missouri having a pretty decent baseball weekend in Houston over the weekend?
There is a baseball thread on our board.
Like one?
9 people. Yeah, one thread. It's just a season thread. The 9 people that are interested, click on it. I have not yet opened that thread. I assumed they were happy about it.
Okay, fine. I was just curious.
Do you like Missouri's hats? Are Missouri's hats good? Are you pleased with the hat that they're wearing?
Yeah, we're having a hat crisis here in Oxford for a couple days.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they look like.
Missouri's hat's just it's a black hat with a gold M, right? With the outlined in white.
They've got a gold bill on one of them, too.
Oh, they have an alternate.
I'm going to guess if we did a podcast about Missouri baseball, it would mostly just be Chase telling me about Missouri. Because I promise he knows more players on it than I do.
Steve's not on the hot seat, is what you're telling me, Gabe? They're fine with him winning 30, 35 games and just keeping all the trains on schedule?
Go ahead and say it. Who's Steve?
No, I know Steve. Steve Beavers. No, I mean, look, I think Missouri's got a good situation with him. I mean, he's from the state. He wanted the job. That's good. But look, they're in a league where every other team in the league has been to the College World Series since 1999. Missouri went in 54. They won it all. Norm Stewart pitched on that team. But like the upside for this,
I don't know if you've heard it, but Ole Miss has only been once in the last 20 years. I don't know if anyone's told you that, but between that and the multi-paneled hat, we have a crisis.
Yeah, it is one more time than Missouri has been. But no, I like the upside for this team is, have a really good year, get a Max Scherzer on your roster, finish 5th or 6th in the SEC, make the tournament. That's great. But it's a chicken or the egg thing. Like, to compete in this league, they will have to dump money into that program. But why would you dump money into a program that, even in your good years, you're talking, I don't know, mid-level in the league, and people just baseball is not a big thing here. When you say baseball in this state, it's Cardinals and Royals. It's not college baseball. It's just not a sport that's ever caught on here, even when they're good. It's a niche thing.
Yeah, because it amazes me what some of these schools are even putting into it. I mean, Kentucky just put $45 million into their baseball program, and they're fine. They're not a bad program. They have some upside, but good grief.
I mean, Missouri just spent 2 years raising a couple $1 million to turf the field. So, baseball is and I believe this strongly. If you are not a school that just prints money, like A&M can do whatever it wants, spend all kind of money on everything. Same with Alabama. Their football program makes so much money. Do whatever you want with it. If you're a Missouri or an Ole Miss, I think you should pick a sport, either football or men's basketball, because I say this all the time. I no disrespect to the people that play them and the people that follow them. They put in a ton of time. They work hard, all that. But the only two that really matter and make money are football and men's basketball. So if you're a Missouri or Ole Miss level school, you need to pick one of those schools or one of those sports, and every single dime you have goes into making that sport great. And then you worry about the rest of it. Like, I don't care if you're good at wrestling or you're good at the women's basketball or volleyball or golf or any of that. Like, you get really good at the one that is important, and then it will raise the level of everything else. Fans say all the time, like, Kansas is one of the 5 best basketball programs in the country. They're not really very good at anything else. Who cares? Like, I'd rather be great at one thing and below average in everything else than just kind of decent at a lot of things.
Yeah, and when you make a point on Missouri baseball, if you put all this money into it, I mean, you're just draining it. You're never going to actually get it back. I mean, that's the one positive from a third sports standpoint at Ole Miss, LSU. I think Arkansas, they're actually in the black. They make money every year, and it doesn't cost them anything compared to every other school.
Yeah,
because Ole Miss sold 7,500 season tickets for baseball this year.
Yeah. I don't know what Missouri's number is. I'm going to guess it's closer to 75 than 7,500, but I could.
They used to crack me up, Gabe, when they first came into the league because they wouldn't even include like the players and stuff in the attendance. So I'd see some of those games up there where it'd be snowing or whatever, and it'd be like attendance 22, 19, 17, 26. It made me laugh.
I mean, they need to start counting the vendors and things like that.
Yeah, it's like 300 before you start.
No, but I mean, the stadium only holds like 2,000 or 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't
all
matter.
right. Last thing, are you pretty excited about the Mike?
This is the longest I've talked about Missouri baseball in my whole life. By the way.
Last thing, are you pretty excited about the Mike Matheny era beginning in Kansas City? It should be dynamic.
You know what? Last I checked, and you guys might want to look this up when we get off the podcast, the Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions, and other sports do not matter. That is how I view this baseball season.
I understand. I get it. All right, Gabriel, I'll send you a video tonight.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yep. AT&T has maxed out its capabilities here in Oxford right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Looks like we're done at the moment. So, all right. If you're in our stream and you can actually hear us, great. If not, I hope it's actually offline. It quit. I'm
getting off the Wi-Fi.
I think we're just gonna let it kill the stream for the day, to be honest, and just finish, because otherwise, there's no way to. Is it? Okay. Apparently we're back. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm still getting low output on the stream, but apparently it's back,
AT&T happened.
That's what happened.
AT&T happened.
Okay. All right. Well, a little bit of whatever there. So anyway,
I'd like to nap.
Would you?
I've been waking up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, and I cannot go back to sleep.
Really?
I just lay there.
Yeah.
I'm about to start getting up.
We'll talk about that one second. First, we'll tell you about Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com/events. You go to that page, find out what's going on locally in Oxford this week and every single week as well. Everything from Magic in the Middle Ages running all the way through March 20th. Basketball against Mizzou. We've told you about that tonight. Got concerts all over town. Baseball, the double-decker bus tours resume Friday 4 to 5 o'clock. And remember, if you do that bus tour, you can take your receipt over to our friends at Blue Delta Jeans. Get $100 off a pair of jeans if you take part in that as well. So plenty to do. You can also stop by the Visit Oxford location right there on the square on Jackson Avenue, and they will give you welcome bags and tell you about some of the things you're not aware about in town. Again, that's visitoxfordms.com.
Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward and chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen and Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. Call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth and let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. If you're looking to give your employees or clients something beyond the typical koozie, or you need some awesome marketing swag for your client or potential customer, I recommend Dead Soxy. They've got you covered with custom socks. What better way to personalize your company swag than to create a product people will use time and again? Visit deadsoxy.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, click on the custom socks button, and let them hold your hand through the entire process. Don't worry about not having design skills. Just share your vision with the design team, and they'll get to work putting your vision into action. Dead Soxy will create a complimentary digital mock-up of your design before any orders are placed. It's time to get customized, so go custom with your friends at Dead Soxy. We're also brought to you by Nest & Wild. Nest & Wild is a Mississippi-based mattress company making a high-quality mattress delivered right to your door. They make buying a new mattress easy. Every Nest & Wild mattress is 1 foot thick, giving you comfort and support that will last. A lot of online brands sell an 8-inch or 10-inch mattress with less support and durability. But from the twin size to the California King, every Nest & Wild mattress is 1 foot thick. It's also 100% American made, and the pricing is fantastic when you compare it to the mattress companies in their tier. We'll make it even better by throwing in a podcast discount, and you should know it's a no-risk decision. Nest & Wild believes in their product so much that they're offering a 99-night trial on every mattress to try it out, sleep on it for 99 nights, and if you don't like it, you can return it. Go to nestandwild.com, order your mattress, use the podcast code REBEL20. That's REBEL20. You get 20% off your purchase. Your mattress will arrive at your door in 3 to 5 days.
Podcast is brought to you by In-House Interior and Design. They're on Main Street in Tupelo, also inside Sugar Magnolia in Oxford, booth 34. When you walk in there, they handle every aspect of designing the home, from windows, doors, paint, wallpaper, lights, fixtures, lamps, floorings, rugs, furniture, and more. They have more than 30 years of combined experience, and right now they're still offering the 20% off the first 10 dorm room design appointments for you there with Nikki and Ashley. So again, you can give them a call and find out more at 662-681-6241. Appreciate Gabe there. Basketball, I drink, which talk. That's a good point. He's definitely on the list of the least likely to be a SEC football coach, head coach we've seen in a really long time. I mean, I'm not even really sure who's on that Mount Rushmore with him, but he's certainly up there.
Can you imagine what would have happened here if Lane Kiffin had fallen apart and Ole Miss had hired Elijah Drinkwitz?
You don't think the same buzz would have populated throughout?
I'm really trying to
the Lou community.
I'm trying to legitimately think what would have happened.
What do you mean?
Do you think it would have been?
I think he was the next dude up.
Oh, I do too. Do you think it would have been pure revolt?
There was a certain sentiment of it's just not Matt Luke, honestly.
Sure.
So there is part of that. But
But his would have been a name that basically came out of nowhere. He was on our hot board, but we stopped talking about it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I didn't realize how close we were to screwing that up until that Sunday morning.
Well,
or whatever day it was.
I told you throughout the process, I felt like I was missing something.
We were missing the wrong guy.
There was something missing.
We spent too much time on Napier and not enough time on Drinkwitz.
Well, I spent time on Napier and got nowhere with it. People kept saying, what do you think about Napier? I'm like, I can't get anywhere with it, which made me think there was nothing to it.
Yeah.
I think it would have gone over very poorly.
I don't mean from a religious standpoint, just in general, it would have looked a lot like Freeze, and people still aren't ready for that look-alike yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's some of it too, really resembles Hugh in a couple different ways.
Kind of has a hook.
Sort of that non-athlete coach a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, it just had a little bit of a feel there. Look, Drinkwitz might end up being really good, but I mean, Hugh did take Ole Miss to 2 Access Bowls. It looked like a copy of a copy a little bit, is what it would have looked like.
Yeah, it's fair. Can't argue that.
It would have looked like kind of that Michael Keaton movie Multiplicity, where it was like the second or the third one, not the first one, where it sort of was like this weird mutation of what Ole Miss had.
I mean, I can't tell you when I realized how close we were to kind of missing it, how I thought, what in the hell would I have written? Like, yeah, you know what? They decided not to go with Kiffin. Decided to go a different direction. Oof.
Just hard hat that bad boy up and pray. That's all you can do at that point.
Mike could have just taken the university release and said, have at it, boys and girls.
Yeah, I'm going to leave this board here for 24 hours.
24
do whatever
days.
you want.
24 days.
We'll come back. We'll check in.
Yeah.
Kind of like that hotty-totty board we have right now where that dude just talks to himself all the time over there by himself.
Pick up that phone and call a couple people. Hey, you were talking to me a couple years ago about a job. Kind of curious.
What you got?
That's still there?
How we feeling? I get it. I mean.
Oh, he was definitely the next guy.
Yeah.
Someone says in the thread, what's Napier's deal? Billy Napier is the guy who is a deep thinker. That's what he is. Might work, might not. He thinks he is in line for a better job than the ones at places like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. He essentially would not take the calls of those 3 programs. Now, those 3 programs are paying their head football coaches collectively about 12-point-something million. It's a hell of a gamble.
And it just takes one injured quarterback or some issue at one of those Sunbelt schools for you to get forgotten. Ask Mark Hudspeth about that.
Absolutely. You can go from being the next guy at fill-in-the-blank SEC school to you're the assistant head coach at Vermont State.
Somebody asking in the thread if he has any ties to Missouri. No, he does not. He's been in Arkansas. He's from Norman, Oklahoma originally. He played at Arkansas Tech. A lot of Arkansas stuff, and then Boise, NC State, App State, and Missouri.
Drinkwitz played at Arkansas Tech?
His alma mater is, he went to Arkansas Tech. I don't know if he played football or what he did, but yeah, no, sorry. He went to Arkansas Tech. Why are you finding that weird?
I don't know. I just didn't know that. So he went to Arkansas Tech, and Norvell went to Central Arkansas.
Yeah, during his time at Alma, he was an all-conference and all-state selection, was named FCA Huddle Leader of the Year. He then chose to go to Russellville and received a bachelor's degree in education from Arkansas Tech, so no, did not play college football.
So Arkansas Tech's in Russellville. I was trying to remember where it is. I've seen the signs for it when I'm driving to
Drinkwitz and his wife, Lindsay, have 4 daughters. So there's your
Where's she from?
lad.
She from Alma also?
I don't know. Do you want me to try to find out?
No, I don't care.
Lindsay Drinkwitz. Your computer's very smart. I just typed in LIND and Lindsay Drinkwitz went into the Google search.
Because it's listening to you.
Dude, it's getting worse and worse around. I'm a big Alexa fan, and I'm telling you, I'm getting a little. I'm starting to even get some 1984 vibes going on here. It's getting a little weird.
Alexa knows all.
Oh, dude, I mean, I'm telling you, it's strange. I sent somebody a text yesterday about an item I was trying to potentially purchase. Had not looked on Amazon. Had not done anything.
Yeah.
Had not Googled it. Just sent a text, said, hey, do you know a good of this? Check Facebook, and it was an ad for that in my Facebook feed. And I went, okay.
I had a phone conversation about IT band stuff.
Okay.
And I'm getting blown up with devices that would help with my IT band.
Really?
I've not searched.
Now, and you're not. I mean, Siri's always listening.
Yeah. And recording.
And recording.
Everything.
Do you care?
Not really.
I don't either. I couldn't care less. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's kind of functional. I mean,
so
it's helping me out.
Where's she from?
Oh, I don't know.
You found it?
No, I don't know. It was not an easy Google search. I was having to really kind of look for it. I don't know that I care that much. Sorry, high school sweetheart. Just stumbled upon it.
So she's from Alma as well?
She appears to be from Alma, Arkansas as well. That's correct.
How about that?
She appears to have a Pinterest page.
Good for her.
Unless there's a different Lindsay Drinkwitz.
Probably not.
You don't think there's a different?
She's probably the one.
She is. She is wearing Arkansas State gear in the profile photo. Appears to be a lot of pictures of like home design or decor or something. A lot of house stuff.
She likes to decorate.
She has a spaghetti thing on Pinterest. Yeah.
Yeah. I like spaghetti.
And I don't know. There's a story here from the Columbia Missourian that says how a red couch helped Missouri land new football coach.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry. But it's Wednesday in February, March, whatever it is, guys. I don't know. Can't wait for the fallout. If you're right, if Ole Miss is 16-1 when LSU comes to town and then loses 2 out of 3, it'll be like everything else didn't happen.
There you go.
Nothing else happened. Just Missouri actually got a little help from the scheduling guides. As I was looking at their schedule while Gabe was talking, then I realized he'd have no way to have that conversation.
Gabe, by the way,
so
wanted me to pass along to you that if you would like to cover Missouri baseball,
has some internships available.
He's got an unpaid internship available.
Yeah, I realized quickly that he would not be able to answer any of my questions that I might have regarding the Missouri baseball team, so I stopped. It was
yeah.
fine. They're doing the right thing. I mean, I'm making fun and I'm playing, but Missouri is absolutely going, hey, God,
of course.
we can't do this.
Of
we
course.
can't compete in this league.
Of course.
And they're okay. They win 13, 14 games a year. It's all right. It's cool. It's conference games. They win 30 regular season games a year. It's all right.
Trying to decide whether I want to give the following hot take or not. I think most people would agree with me, but there would be a handful of people who would lose their minds. It's why I'm Ole Miss.
Yes.
Between you and me.
Yeah, sure.
I don't invest a ton of money in softball.
I'm thinking about it.
The infrastructure from a high school recruiting standpoint is not there.
In this state, no.
Right.
It's why soccer and volleyball struggle at times.
Right.
I mean, Mott's done a hell of a job in soccer given the situation.
Why they obviously also struggle in softball. So before you drop $2 million into a facility, think about where else you could put that
Do you
money.
need an SEC standard at this, though? I'm asking. I'm just
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Because nobody gives a damn outside of football, men's basketball, and baseball. If you're going to throw $2 million into something, put it into women's basketball. I mean, at least they play high school basketball in Mississippi.
Yeah, recruiting's good in Mississippi for high school basketball.
So if you're just gonna throw it into something, throw it into that.
Okay. Well, there's no proof yet that it's sustainable over a long period of time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Right. And I'm not saying it's not.
If it was, I get it because TV exposure.
Sure,
I mean, softball is a weird thing there.
It's a good TV sport.
It is. It's a great TV sport. It's a much better TV sport than baseball.
Well, yeah, because the games are shorter.
Yeah.
It's a 2 hour.
And it
moves faster.
Pitch, hit, walk, pitch, hit. A little bit of a weird night around the SEC, by the way, as we're getting through this segment. Georgia losing 6-3 to Georgia Southern last night in Athens. Arkansas now lost their 4th game in a row, losing a midweeker to Illinois State last night in Fayetteville. They're scuffling right now.
Yep.
It's a little weird for the Hogs at the moment. And a lot of Ole Miss people took a little pleasure in that last night. Let's see. I guess that's it. That's all the losses. Vanderbilt came back. They were tied for a while. Beat our Central Arkansas 10-2. And, yeah, everybody else won. LSU got off the snide, beat Southeastern Louisiana 6-3 last night. Auburn had rain and got postponed with Samford last night. So
Alabama baseball got rained out too, I think.
Alabama beat South Al 12-2. They tied now 13-0 on the season.
Oh.
Maybe we're all wrong about Alabama. Maybe Alabama's going to win the West.
I'm going to guess not.
You're going to guess they just hadn't played anybody.
If you offer me Alabama or the field,
you'd like the field.
I'm going to take the field. Confidently.
Alabama plays UNA. They can sneak up and get you today in Tuscaloosa.
Well, they can.
They can. Seen it. I've seen it. It's the most baffling game I've ever covered. You looked up in like the 6 and you go, they suck. What is going on?
It's baseball.
Yeah, I was having a good time that day because I was sitting. It was great weather. It was at 11 a.m. school day game. I was sitting down in the stands and I saw Ross over there start texting. You firing him yet? You firing him yet? Whatever. And he's looking at me like, stop. I'm just asking you firing him yet? LSU plays Grambling today, so they can get a couple in-state wins on their belt this midweek.
Yep.
State plays Southern tonight and Pearl, the first of those games. South Carolina with a midweek game against Boston College tonight.
Really?
Wonder where BC's headed on the weekend. They got to be headed somewhere, right?
I would think. Maybe they're going to Clemson.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Who's Boston College got this weekend? I know, guys. Nobody cares. Yeah, they are. They're headed to Clemson on the way. South Carolina tonight. They played – interesting schedule. They played at North Carolina A&T Monday, playing out South Carolina today, and then going to Clemson for a 3-game set over the weekend.
Smart.
Yeah, and then hitting – I don't think they're going home. They got another road game on Tuesday, and then they play NC State. They might just be stayed on the road like 14 days.
Do they just not go to class? Or?
Well, you got tutors and stuff. I mean, I guess you could go back, but you're literally just like one day, boom, boom, boom. Like,
yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Probably not going home. Probably got out of Boston for a couple of weeks because of the cold. Get some games in.
Because you can't play up there anyway. So that's probably why Princeton hasn't played. They can't schedule anything. So, well, I don't know. Never mind. Never mind. On Tuesday or Monday or whatever, they're at Holy Cross. So that's back in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So they'd go home, play that game, and then come back and play NC State. There's your Boston College schedule rundown for the day.
And all of this assumes that the coronavirus doesn't just wipe everything out.
I did find that interesting in your mailbag. You said you're paying more attention than any of the other things that have hit.
When you listen to Mind on My Money, we actually talked a lot about coronavirus because we taped shortly after the Fed dropped the interest point a half. First time they dropped it in 12 years, where you couldn't kind of help but wonder, did they know something? They admitted it's coronavirus related. Is there something we don't know?
I thought it was just to ease some minds and kind of keep some up.
I hope you're right. I think you're right. My inclination is you're right, but you do kind of wonder.
I'm not being one of those guys that just says, no, it's never a problem, complete head in the sand. I do wonder, though, why are we – and look, people are sick, they're fatality, whatever. I get that.
Yeah, sure.
The normal flu strains that we get kill thousands of people a year in this country.
Every year.
Why are we freaking out about that and not the other stuff that actually has higher percentages on us?
I think because the mortality rate on this one is higher. But it's not as high as –
Do we know? Nobody's been tested.
But so far, they don't think it's as high as, say, H1N1. Remember the mad cow disease? If you got it, you were –
everybody was all freaked out about that.
You were in trouble, yeah. I will tell you this, Caroline, the Chargerettes, go Chargerettes. They fly to Orlando tomorrow to compete, and they're going to Disney World. Disney World will have people from all over the place, because it's the happiest place on earth. And normally I'd be like, yeah, cool.
Do you think in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, let's just put a time frame on it, we'll have spectatorless sporting events in the United States?
My gut is no. I read something yesterday that said we'll know really in the next 2 weeks what this thing is.
Okay.
In 2 weeks, if it's spreading like wildfire, the answer to your question will be yes. If in 2 weeks it's under control and the numbers are kind of going down or stabilizing, then the answer is no.
Because that's happened across the world some. Tokyo Marathon had no spectators a few weeks ago. It was only for elite runners.
Yeah. They're talking about not having the Olympics?
Yeah, too early for – well, I mean, the NCAA yesterday putting out a conference call and spoke with multiple major media outlets and broadcasters and different things, including ESPN, on, hey, what if we have to either A, change or move NCAA tournament locations or cancel part of the NCAA basketball tournament? That was a conversation yesterday.
I'm aware, yeah.
And it was like, hey, how much head start do you need if we got to take the regional in Portland and move that thing to wherever? I don't know, whatever, St. Louis.
And if there's no vaccine for it, realistically, there's not going to be a vaccine for about a year. If it took off and became a big thing, I think it starts to threaten football seasons. You're not going to go to an event with 80,000 people. If you're scared to death of it.
Yeah, I get that. So
I think it's all going to probably be okay, but
yeah, I always lean that direction when given the option. But see, take our final break in the show to tell you about MasterCut's Lawn and Landscape Room Lawn Care throughout northern Mississippi, but a lot more as well, including custom pool decks, outdoor living spaces, paver patios, forestry mulching, and more. To patch your dream backyards easier than think with MasterCuts. You can go online to find a free quote at gomastercuts.com, or that same free quote at 662-607-7773. Again, gomastercuts.com.
Speaking of Mind on My Money, that podcast is brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. It will drop today. Go to Pintrust. It's actually, if you haven't listened before, this is one I think you'll enjoy. It's a lot about coronavirus, how it is impacting the markets, what the Fed drop means, what could be next, some of the politics. Super Tuesday was last night. We talked about why Joe Biden is gaining steam, what that would mean for the markets as opposed to Bernie Sanders. There's a lot there if you're interested in just sort of a current event edition of that podcast. It's pintrust.com, P-I-N-N trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fees. My mailbag is up at rebelgrove.com. A lot of basketball, some football, some baseball, JFK, Love is Blind. There's a lot there. It's brought to you by the Westin Jackson, home to Soul Spa, also home to Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. It is a Marriott property in downtown Jackson. Speaking of planes and events and such, if you're traveling this summer, probably if you've never used a travel agent before, this is probably the summer to use one. John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis is your answer. He's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits not available to other travelers. What you do is you give him a call, you give him a budget, he'll give you some options, and you don't have to live anywhere near Memphis to take advantage of services. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. It's home to Kasasa, the absolute best cash checking account. With Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances, up to $50,000, refund ATM fees nationwide. To learn more about OUB, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
So what does this mean for our society? Credit to you, even answers, that we had multiple Love is Blind questions in your mailbag this week. That really, I woke up and I clicked the link and I went, man, it's where we are.
Yep.
This is where we are.
Yep.
Not just a 38-year-old bachelor, not just apparently doing some golden years shows of something. We're doing multiple Love is Blind questions now as well.
Yeah, and I think there will be a season 2.
Of course.
Well,
of course.
It clearly worked. I think we like watching each other now. We don't watch television. We watch each other. We look for crazy and watch crazy, and maybe if we watch crazy, it makes us feel better about ourselves.
Okay.
The problem with the Love is Blind thing. One of the problems is that it forces these people who can't see each other, and more importantly, don't know each other, to immediately start having conversations about getting married.
That's a problem.
Well, I mean, look, as I wrote in the mailbag, I was never a great dater. There wasn't a long line of people just itching to date me. But I did know enough about dating to know that you didn't necessarily launch into commitment conversations in dates 1, 2, or 3.
Order to things.
You did want to get to a certain comfort level before you started thinking, is this something or not?
We
They
have
skip all that.
a St. Elmo's review in the mailbag this week. Blake sent us some photos and some descriptions that apparently it'll clean you out sinus wise. Apparently,
I've always heard it was heavy horseradish.
yeah, it's big time horseradish. Everybody says, and it's like swimming in it. I mean, there is so much cocktail sauce in that bowl or plate or whatever serving container.
Which is it's to fool you into thinking there's more food than there is,
Yeah,
right?
I'm assuming it's not a ton of shrimp.
I'm guessing
It's
not.
$17.
Yeah. Blake said it was overpriced, but he did it for the experience.
Good,
And that it was good,
hot.
but hot.
And I'm fine with horseradish.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Fine. If I went, I would get it to try it, to say I did it.
You're feeding into the beast. I mean,
I know.
You're playing right into their hands. That's what you're doing. Just saying.
Did you pay any attention to Super Tuesday last night?
I mean, a little. I'm annoyed. I'm telling you, I love campaigns and I can't do it. I just can't. I know it's just a primary season. I get it, but I can't.
I'm going to give the Democrats credit. They saw where this thing was going.
They got behind one. They said, "Hey, you're out and you're out.
Yeah.
We're doing this thing right now."
And somewhere around Saturday night, Sunday morning, they went, you know what?
You sons of.
I'll tell you this. If I'm Bernie Sanders, I question my loyalty to the Democratic Party at this point.
Oh yeah, because you're hung out to dry.
Because this is 2 times in a row that you had momentum on your side and the party just came in and go,
Yeah. Nope.
no.
You will not be on that debate stage come October.
I mean,
Because, Biden's got a clear run in a majority now. He's got a shot. There's still a chance it doesn't get there before the convention, but looks a lot better than it did.
whew,
What?
it's just going to be a fascinating.
Bloomberg hasn't left yet. Is he going to try to run as an independent?
I think he could.
Is he going to try to Ross Perot this
He
thing?
spent a bunch of money already.
Spent $7 million. I know it's just $7 million, and Bloomberg, that's nothing. Spent that on Super Tuesday, knowing he had no chance to actually win any majorities. I'm wondering if he's hanging around and just going to run independent on the main ticket, if he can do that. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know.
Who's Biden have to put on his ticket?
Ooh. That's tricky because you got to pick somebody to help you, but that same person could hurt you with the people. Because I don't think Biden has this.
Got to go young.
Say, correct me if I'm wrong. Biden has this, hey, he's better than these other dudes about him. But I don't know that Biden has this intense camp at all. That just no matter what, I am motivated to get out on that Tuesday
Right.
and vote for you. I don't see that.
No.
So because of that, you could pick a running mate that could screw up some of your really hardcore supporters because they're not that hardcore.
And you need that momentum. I mean, Obama had it in 08 where people lined up in the rain, and Trump had it in 16 where people lined up for hours to go vote.
Well, that's when we first knew it. You and I have talked about that conversation where you said, "Hey, you seen this?" And
Well, I kept showing it to you. I'm like, look at that.
Yeah, because I just saw those polls and was like, "Oh, Hillary's going to win. I've quit."
Yeah.
And I kind of
Well, and I was that way till about 10 o'clock that morning, and I kept looking at the TV going,
you called me at like 2:30 that afternoon and went, got a thing here.
well, I mean, are people waiting in line for 3 hours? Are people going to wait in line for 3 hours to vote for Joe Biden? I don't know the answer to that. And if he puts like Klobuchar on his ticket, does Trump respond with, you know what? Nikki Haley sure would be good on the ticket right now.
Really?
Have to think about it.
I'm thinking.
Got to be Klobuchar, right? That's who he has to go with. She's solid.
I think that makes some sense.
Good communicators.
It's
Female vote.
It's moderate as you can get with the current setup. About Kamala Harris.
Interesting. Wonder if he would think, because clearly the Democrats are thinking, hey, look, we just can't go radical here. We're not going to win. I wonder if he would think she would be viewed as too radical to cancel out his normalcy.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I just kind of wonder if that's what he would kind of think to himself. Like, I don't think he'll go with Buttigieg. Klobuchar is just vanilla ice cream enough. And no, I'm not talking about a race. I'm talking about just down the line.
little milk toast. Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah.
She's very safe.
That's a good point.
I'm telling you, don't count out this Nikki Haley thing. You know what Begala
That's
predicted?
a good point. Klobuchar would, if you get Minnesota, I mean, because you're counting votes here is all you're doing.
Of course.
I mean, this is a scoreboard.
Of course.
That's
Nikki Haley would do really well with moms, women.
Yeah.
It's a lot of women. You want the women vote. She'd help.
Yeah.
You know what Begala predicts, don't you?
Mm-mm.
He predicts that if this coronavirus thing gets out of control, Trump's going to blame Pence for his handling of it because he put Pence on it and put Haley on the ticket. And he predicted that he will announce it on the day that the Democrats have their person, nominate their person in Milwaukee.
Is that where it's at this year?
Yeah. July the 16th, I think.
Playing games now, aren't we? So, okay.
You get into politics on that one, huh?
Yeah. No kidding. All right.
I mean, it's happened before. Just because
you're
the vice president doesn't mean you're a lock for the ticket.
No, not at all. Thanks to Gabe for giving us a shot or talking to us today for a little bit. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. We've got some stuff on rebelgrove.com and more coming as well. So have a good day. Enjoy your Wednesday. Talk to you tomorrow.